Right, this is this is being filmed on the 31st of May, and you might not actually see it on the channel on that. You won't actually see it on the channel on that date, but that's the date it's being filmed on. And I've collected a bag full of stuff to take down to the Headway charity shop in Northwich today, because it's the 10th anniversary of my mother's death, and I've collected a bag full of things that were related to her life in some way or another. It was either magazines where the front cover was. I'll show you a typical example of this. This here, this magazine here was related to her life, but because she was a teacher, but an infant school teacher, but that's not. That's. We're not doing a review of that. We're doing a review with these. These two films here were both related to her life, because her second stroke was a major one, and the Diving Bell and the Butterfly, it's based on a remarkable true story. Right, also includes fully dubbed English language version. I loved it, a wonderful memorable experience. Jonathan Ross. On December the 8th, 1995, Jean-Dominique Bauby, editor-in-chief of fashion magazine Frenchelle, suffered a massive stroke, leaving him prisoner inside his own body, only able to communicate with the blinking of his left eye. Inside the diving bell, as he referred to his body, his memory and imagination, the butterfly remained untouched by the tragedy. Using a special alphabet, Bauby went on to defy the odds and fulfill his dream of writing a book showing the amazing resilience of the human spirit. And the special features are English featured dub, recorded by the original cast, commentary by director Julian Schnabel, Submerged, the making of the Diving Bell and the Butterfly, cinematic vision featurette, Charlie Rose interviews Julian Schnabel, production photography gallery, original theatrical trailer. And it's a 12 because it contains sexualised nudity and one use of moderate language. The runtime is 107 minutes, and it's in colour. Right, well, what happens is this guy who's had this massive stroke is completely paralysed, apart from being able to blink his left eye. So they invent a sort of language that's indigenous to him, in a way. But because one, I think it's one stroke equals no, and two strokes equals yes. So he communicates with this special alphabet, because when the letter that he wants to use, it is mentioned to him, he says yes to it. So that's basically how he's able to communicate, by blinking. And he's able to communicate his ideas in this way. And he says, using a special alphabet, Bauby went on to defy the odds and fulfill his dream of writing a book showing the amazing resilience of the human spirit. But I think towards the end of her life, my mother just she just lost the will to live. Basically, my mother did towards the end. She didn't have any more resilience left in her. But it's very much related to my mother's life because my mother's second stroke was a major one, and she was incoherent for quite a while. After it, I I I I, I rung up and told her sister-in-law what had happened to her, and she went to see her, and she was just lying on the bed, unconscious with her mouth open. And she says, my sister-in-law says to her son, says to her son and her daughter-in-law, get me out of here. I don't want to see any more of this. You know, because it was just horrifying to her. But these are the ones that do. This is one of the things that I'm taking in I'm taking all these things that relate. That it was either films that she saw in the cinema during her lifetime, or films that related to her life in some way or another. And we're doing this to celebrate the 10th anniversary of her death. This is a similar film here called The Majestic, and that's rated PG. But we can see the reasons why it's rated PG here. Bad language, some mild, sex, nudity, none, violence infrequent, mild, once mild other, once mild peril. And what's this about? This is a film starring Jim Carrey as a man who loses his memory and therefore loses his identity. Sometimes your life comes into focus one frame at a time. The Majestic. From the acclaimed director of The Shawshank Redemption and The Green Mile, Jim Carrey is first-rate daily star. Simply marvellous at Express on Sunday. It's the 1950s and ambitious Hollywood screenwriter Peter Appleton, Jim Carrey, The Truman Show, has everything going for him. That is until the FBI discovered he attended a communist meeting during college and blacklisted him. Drunk and desperate, Peter drives aimlessly through the streets of California, finally crashing into a stormy river and waking to find himself in a small coastal town, minus his memory. The tiny town of Lawsonover go wild and embrace Peter as local missing in action war hero Luke Trimble, with whom he shares an uncanny resemblance. Injecting new life and hope into the community, Peter goes about restoring the Majestic, a crumbling movie palace owned by his father, Harry Trumbull, Martin Landau, Sleepy Hollow. And for all those who are not in the know, Martin Landau is the actor who played Commander Koenig in Space 1999. Andrew Kingling, The Passion of old flame Adele Stanton, Laurie Holden, past perfect. However, when Peter's memory starts returning, he has even bigger dilemmas to face. With the FBI closing in on his trail, does he run or brave his accusers back in Hollywood once and for all? And more importantly, will he find the courage to tell the town who he really is? And the special features are additional scenes, Sand Pirates of the Sahara, the complete sequence, interactive minus, scene. I'll explain to you what happens in this film. what happens is that this Martin Landau, he plays Harry Trimble, and after when this guy who's been involved in this accident loses his memory, he mistakes him for being his son, who was missing in action war hero, Luke Trimble, and this Luke Trimble had a girlfriend, and she meets up with this guy who's lost his memory, and she doesn't seem to be too confident that it's him. But because this guy was a screenwriter, he sees he sees one of his films that he's written, and it brings his memory back to him because he can remember films, and it brings his memory back to him because he remembers that he's written it. And he has to explain to this woman that he isn't the person that she thought he was, and this Harry, he didn't have the courage to tell this Harry Trimble when he was on his deathbed that he wasn't his son. But he tells this woman who was Luke Trimble's girlfriend that he isn't the person that she thought he was. But this is related to me, although it isn't a film about a man who's had a stroke. It's still related to my mother's life in a way, because after she had her first stroke, she forgot how to tell the time and things like that. But as time went on, her memory started coming back to her, and she got a lot better. But then, unfortunately, she had a second stroke, and she had to go into a nursing home, and she got a chest infection, and that was the end of her 10 years ago today. But these are these are two very good films about people who unfortunately get paralysed or lose a memory.